Hey, what's up, everybody? It's UltimateSpy53 here, and welcome to review number 27. And today I'll be reviewing X-Men, which is the first installment in the X-Men trilogy starring Patrick Stewart and Ian McKellen, which was released in 2000.
So this movie was actually the first comic book movie of 2000. I don't think there was any previous comic book movie. This was the first, just the first comic book movie itself ever to be made. And it was driven from the popular Marvel Comics, as well the rest of the other X-Men movies were made from. This is the first movie in a trilogy of movies that all started basically the same people. It was basically everybody was in the same movies forever. The only character that was not in this movie and didn't actually show up until the third movie was Beast. Why? I honestly don't know. It's kind of a mystery, actually. It just didn't show. He never really showed up. But it was overall a pretty good movie. I liked it. I liked the character that I saw, the new additions to it. From the gap between X-Men Apocalypse and this movie was a drastic change. I will be reviewing X-Men Origins Wolverine, which is basically bridges the gap between these two movies, and basically it has a lot of characters that are in this movie that are basically. A lot of the characters in this movie did not make it to this movie from Apocalypse in terms of the timeline. Basically, you have Patrick Stewart, who plays Professor X, or Professor Charles Xavier, also known as Professor X in the movie. Ian McKellen, Eric Venture-Magneto, he also played Gandalf in the Lord of the Rings trilogy, and Hobbit trilogy as well. And has Halle Berry as Aurora Monroe / basically also known as Storm. She can generate storms. Cyclops, who basically has a eye problem, so he's powered basically to shoot beams out of his eyes, and he's played by James Marsden. So the cast is actually pretty cool in terms of what they had. Also featured for the first time in movie history, at least I think it's Hugh Jackman's first credit, or first comic book movie credit. I'm pretty sure he was in more movies than before X-Men came out, but in terms of comic book movies, I'm pretty sure this is Hugh Jackman's first role in a comic movie. And he played Wolverine, of course, and this is the first time he played it, because this was the first comic book movie of 2000, I believe. Like I said before, I don't even know if there was actually any movies before 2000, but that year, it was the first actual comic movie. Yeah, I thought it was pretty cool. The other cast included, I believe it was Rogue was introduced, Mary / Rogue, played by the amazingly beautiful Anna Paquin. She's a gorgeous actress. And she plays the character in this kind of a southern way. I mean, she doesn't actually look like Rogue until the end of the movie, because she gets that white streak at the end of the movie, which is a thing which happens. And also has Bobby Drake, Iceman. He's played by Shawn Ashmore. And also, what's really weird in about this movie is the Brotherhood, which includes Toad for one movie. He only played I believe this by the same actor who played Darth Maul in the previous series, Star Wars Episode 1. I can't actually remember his name. But he played Toad, which is a mutant, basically like he basically is a toad-like guy. It also had Mystique, and of course she was actually known as Raven in this movie, just known as Mystique. And weirdly enough, the connection between Apocalypse and this movie, the first X-Men movie, was the fact that at the end of the X-Men Apocalypse, Mystique is with the X-Men, but in this movie she's with the Brotherhood, which is weird. I mean, I guess timelines are in there, so it basically fucks everything up. But in terms of the character, she was a little weird. I mean, her voice is kind of distorted, actually. I don't even know if she speaks at all. I believe she does speak, but when it just she doesn't even have a like a female voice. She's played by an older actress, Rebecca Romijn, because of the older character. Jennifer Lawrence played the younger version of Mystique, but in this movie, she was played by Rebecca Romijn, or whatever. I can't pronounce that. But she kind of seemed different in this movie, like something wasn't explained to cause her to be on the Brotherhood side. I mean, I get it, the whole thing about the X-Men and the Brotherhood, they splitting up, basically, like, you know, Professor X and Magneto basically splitting ways, and, well, they're not really enemies, they're just kind of like, they have differences, so they are on different teams. And Magneto has Sabretooth. He's actually in the movie. Sabretooth is actually Victor Creed. He's a brother of Wolverine, except in this movie he's not. He's not even close. He just happens to be another man who's basically the arch enemy of Wolverine. In Origins, he's actually the brother of Logan Wolverine, but not in this movie. He's played by a completely different actor. He looks completely different too. I mean, he has the same powers, but he looks completely different. And I don't even think, actually, I don't even think he speaks in this movie. I think he doesn't have. I think he has like one line. I'm pretty sure, like one line. But yeah, I just found the movie to be weird in terms of how the timelines connected between Apocalypse and this movie, X-Men. I mean, overall, it was a pretty good movie. I liked the story of it, how it starts off with they're kind of at a meeting with Jean Grey, played by Famke Janssen, one of those weird names, but she plays the older Jean Grey in this movie, the original Jean Grey, because this is an original movie. Also, James Marsden is Cyclops, who's basically the boyfriend of Jean Grey. Funny enough, Jean Grey doesn't actually have a name, his name is Jean Grey, but in the comics she's known as Dark Phoenix, or Phoenix. I mean, this movie didn't follow up quite as good as the newer movies. I didn't notice how Storm's hair got longer, of course, from Apocalypse to she got older and her got longer. That makes sense. But I did find Halle Berry in this movie to be very attractive. I mean, there's a lot of the characters in this movie that are attractive, but she just seemed really out of there. But that being said, the whole movie was pretty good. It was different. It was vastly different. Rogue ends up meeting Wolverine early on in the movie, and it's just different. How the movie is vastly different from what I see in the other movies. So the basic idea is that she goes to the academy, she gets enrolled, it goes well, and then Wolverine finds himself there. He doesn't know what's going on. He meets Professor X, who's also mean like him, and everything goes crazy. Develops a crush on Jean Grey, because why would he not? Because it's the comics. It's accurate to the comics. But I noticed that a lot of the movie was mainly at, it was less and less, I mean, it was different from two viewpoints. Sometimes it was, at the Brotherhood, like, cave, I guess, and other times it was at the X-Mansion. I noticed that there wasn't as much of the X-Mansion in this movie than in, the next movie. There just wasn't as much. But however, there was one Stan Lee cameo, and actually Stan Lee didn't actually make a cameo in the next movie, but he did make a cameo in this movie. Basically, the scene where you have Senator Kelly, he's been mutated into this like water creature thing by Magneto because Magneto's so evil. He's mutated into this thing, this like water creature thing. It can like morph into water. And he comes on the beach, and everyone's staring, and then suddenly I think he has a hot dog in his hand or something like that, and he just stares in the distance. It's not the best cameo, but it was the first cameo appearance of Stan Lee prior to, well, if you count the Incredible Hulk TV show, which I never saw actually, but he was in that TV show. But this is like actually his first movie appearance in a kind of movie. So pretty much it was about that. There's a lot of, it's basically the idea of Magneto wanting to separate humans from mutants because he thinks mutants are like superior to humans or something like that, and that's why everybody's so evil. That's the general idea. And so basically what happens, what sets everything off is when Rogue accidentally, basically, he hurts Wolverine because he wakes up from a bad dream. He basically slices her, I guess, like gut or something with his claws accidentally. Of course, she takes his strength, and so she can heal, but in the process he gets like super sick and everything, and mysteriously enough, Mystique turns into Bobby Drake, Iceman, and like tells Rogue that Professor X is furious with him, or furious with her, and she should leave. And she leaves, and she goes to the train station, and they have to stop. They have to stop her, and they find out. Then they all go to the Statue of Liberty, which is where the whole big thing is taking place. And there's actually a joke in this movie that has to do with the original X-Men costumes or uniform, or whatever you call it, suits. When they're departing in the plane, and they're all in their suits, and Wolverine takes out his cloud, would actually feel better in the suit. I guess that's the idea. Basically, what happens is he makes a joke pun thingy off of the original suits from the comics because they don't actually have the original costumes. The closest you're gonna get is one from the X-Men First Class. I don't know why I say Apocalypse. First Class. Those are the yellow uniform. Basically, the closest you're gonna get to original X-Men uniforms. But this is the first time that Wolverine actually makes jokes. It makes a joke to the original comic book costumes, and he's like, "What's next? Yellow spandex?" And then I think like Cyclops like drains or something. It's a one-time joke. It's really bad. It's a really bad joke. So yeah, I thought that was really funny. That was just never happened before. So anyway, yeah, and overall it was pretty good in terms of the character development they had. There's a whole fight scene between Mystique and Wolverine, because Mystique has the ability to change appearance of which she wants to, because apparently this is like I guess because the timelines are messed up and everything like that, she's a different version of Mystique in this movie in terms of the one you saw in Apocalypse, which is really weird, because since you want to, from Apocalypse being in the X-Men, like I'm part of the X-Men now, to suddenly she's over on Magneto's side with Brotherhood. It makes no sense at all. But I guess, like Deadpool says in Deadpool, these timelines are confusing, and that's what happens with Age of Future Past, is the fact that because Age of Future Past happened, timelines are all screwed up, and so things happen like that. But there's a big fight scene between Wolverine and Mystique, who's basically battling himself, and it's amazing how they can pull that off in terms of like getting slit levels and actually having Wolverine fight Wolverine, except the Wolverine he's fighting is actually Mystique in disguise. So that was pretty cool. I thought that was really interesting. Really great fight scene. Um, Also, Toad comes into play as a character. Oh, right! I remember. So Ray Fisher, I think his name is. No. Ray something. I think it's Ray Fisher. I could be wrong about that. He played Darth Maul in the Star Wars Episode 1 movie. He's in this movie as Toad, and he does a pretty good job at it in terms of his power. And I like Storm in this movie. She was very, she was hot, but she was also really, really good in terms of the character she brought to the screen. And she was actually pretty close to the comics. I mean, I've seen some of the comics. I've seen what the costumes look like, and they're not bad. You know, they're pretty close. I think she has more hair. In terms of, I think the hairstyles are like a little more wavy or something. I can't even remember. But it was a pretty good. The effects were really good. I like the effects of the powers they have. In terms of the technology they had in 2000, which was the first year of the new millennia, and about 16 years ago. That's right, this movie came out 16 years ago, which is crazy. But that being said, the scenes that were in the Statue of Liberty were pretty emotional in terms of in terms of Wolverine and Magneto, because Magneto can control metal, and unfortunately Wolverine's claws happen to be made out of adamantium metal, which is metal. Strongest, I think this is one of the strongest forms of metal in the X-Men comics. I don't even know. But yeah, that was just a crazy scene where that happened. And what's even crazier is when Magneto actually decides to take Rogue's powers, and thus killing her. Like, she said, "Are you gonna kill me?" And she's like, "Yes, I am." And that's just like crazy. It's like that's just like crazy part of the movie is that she's gonna die or whatever. Eventually everything goes well, but it's just kind of crazy. There's a bit of battle between Sabretooth and Wolverine, and it's pretty good. I mean, I like the costumes in this movie. They're really good, but they're just, I don't know. They're not the best costumes. I would have to say they're not the best. I think the one thing that really makes the movie not as fun is not having Beast. I don't know why they didn't have Beast in them. I think the closer you're getting, but basically the closer you're getting to Hank McCoy Beast is this little cameo he makes, played by a different actor, and it's him in McCoy form, is being interviewed on TV. I believe it's in the bar where Wolverine is in the first few minutes of the movie, or the first scene, for say, is where Wolverine is in. So that's pretty much where it is all at. Overall, I like the movie in terms of the casting. It's pretty good casting. I think this is actually the first film credit for a lot of the actors. I mean, especially for Wolverine in terms of that kind of movie. But I mean, weirdly enough, they didn't have all their origin stories. Like, no one got their origin story. I mean, because they're just like that. Let's see. Did I have a favorite scene? I thought the first time that Wolverine comes into the X-Mansion is actually pretty cool. That was a really, really interesting part of the movie. So yeah, that's really all I can say about it. X-Men. It was a decent movie. It really was. It was the first, like I said, the first kind of movie of the decade, of the new century, of the new millennium. But it was decent. I mean, for the technology they had, they did pretty good. And the effects were good. The acting was pretty good. The stunts were really well done. And the powers, the visual effects of the powers were nicely done. I thought that was really cool. And it's also just amazing how Wolverine is the only, or Hugh Jackman is the only actor to play the same character in every single X-Men movie. literally every single one. He's been in every single one. He's currently wrapped up filming his last movie as Wolverine. So, but yeah, it feels like he doesn't age because that's what he does. So yeah, I definitely thought, I don't know, I like the character I like most in this movie was Rogue, because she just feels so innocent and so, I mean, the character that she is she's the most powerful mutant in terms of powers, I guess. And she's the most popular mutant in the episode of comics. And I mean, because she's beautiful, she's talented. I think the first scene just got emotional when she touched the boy, when she was kissing the boy, or kissing her boyfriend at the time, and he hurt him, and that caught him off guard. That was the crazy part of the movie, was that, and it just goes to show you how that can happen. So yeah, really all I can say about X-Men. It wasn't the best movie in terms of the X-Men universe. I just wish they would have. I don't know. They didn't do. It didn't make sense why Mystique was on their side. But what you really can't do is when you have these continuity errors. It's not much you can do really. But yeah, I did like it. I thought that the characters were really, really well done, and I liked the acting. I liked everything about the movie. Not my favorite, but certainly pretty good for what they had, and I certainly liked the rest of the movies they had. So yeah. Anyway, that'll do it for this episode, I believe. Yeah. So I'd say for a rating, I'd give it a. Oh, I don't know. Let's go with a 6 out of 10. Just because it didn't feel, I don't know, like, it just felt, I guess, just not really as good as other movies that I've seen. I mean, that's because it came out then, so it's not as good, but, you know. Anyway, yeah, 6 out of 10 for that movie. So, yeah. Anyway, yeah. Thank you for watching this episode. I should tell you that I will be in a new place next week. So new location. I will have moved by then. So yeah, new location. I have a new setup by next episode. So look forward to that. Anyway, so yeah, thank you for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe to my channel. And I will see you in the next episode. Alright, see ya.